Imagine waking up every morning knowing that someone is watching you. Not occasionally. Not sometimes. Always. Every word you speak, every thought you think, every emotion you feel. A government so powerful it does not just control what you do. It controls what you are allowed to believe. It rewrites history. It destroys memory. It makes truth itself a weapon. And above every door, on every wall, from every screen, one face stares down at you, with 4 words that change everything. Big Brother is watching you. This is not a story. This is not fiction. This is a warning. Written decades ago.
This is 1984.
The story takes place in a future society ruled by a totalitarian government called the Party. The world is divided into 3 superstates, constantly at war. But the citizens of Oceania know very little about what is truly happening beyond their borders. Information is tightly controlled. The government decides what people are allowed to know, what they can say, what they can think. At the top of everything sits Big Brother. A face, a symbol, an idea. Whether Big Brother is a real person or merely a symbol of absolute power, nobody knows. Nobody asks. Asking is dangerous. Believing is mandatory. Our guide through this world is Winston Smith, a man who works for the government at the Ministry of Truth. Ironically, this ministry does not produce truth. It manufactures lies. Winston edits past records, newspapers, and documents so the party always appears correct. If a government prediction never came true, Winston rewrites history until it did. Through this process, the party controls not just the present, it controls the past itself. Although Winston follows the rules outwardly, inside he is burning. He secretly despises everything the party stands for. In Oceania, thinking against the party is a crime. They call it thought crime. Those suspected are arrested by the thought police and simply disappear. Winston begins his quiet rebellion by purchasing a diary, writing down his private thoughts. This act alone could cost him everything. The party has created a language called newspeak, designed specifically to make independent thought impossible. By eliminating words related to freedom and resistance, it eliminates the ability to even imagine rebellion. It also promotes a concept called doublethink, the ability to hold 2 contradictory beliefs simultaneously and accept both as truth. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. Over time, people become so conditioned by propaganda, they no longer recognize the contradictions at all. Then Winston meets Julia, a young woman who appears to be a devoted and loyal party member, exactly what the party demands. But she passes Winston a note. 4 words. I love you. Their secret relationship becomes an act of rebellion. In Oceania, personal love is a political crime. Desire is theft from the state. Julia and Winston are stealing something back. Winston becomes fascinated with a senior party official named O'Brien. There is something in O'Brien's eyes, a flicker of intelligence, of secret understanding. O'Brien invites them into what appears to be a secret resistance movement called the Brotherhood. He gives Winston a forbidden book, explaining how the party maintains its power. Winston reads it obsessively. Finally, an explanation, a framework, a resistance. But the book is a trap. O'Brien is a trap. Everything is a trap. The room where Winston and Julia have been meeting belongs to a thought police agent. Every moment they spent there was watched. Every whispered word recorded. Every act of love observed. They are arrested, separated immediately. Winston is taken to the Ministry of Love, a place with no windows, fluorescent light burning at all hours. Sleep deprivation, interrogation, pain, and O'Brien is his interrogator. O'Brien does not simply want Winston's confession. He wants something far more complete. He wants Winston to genuinely love Big Brother. Not pretend, not perform. Actually love him. He breaks Winston systematically, physically, psychologically, intellectually. Whatever the party says is true. 2 + 2 = 5, if the party requires it. Winston holds on to one last thing, his love for Julia. They can torture his body, but they cannot make him betray her in his heart. Then O'Brien takes him to room 101. Inside is the thing each person fears most. For Winston, it is rats. A cage placed against his face. And in that moment of absolute terror, Winston does the unforgivable. He screams for them to do it to Julia instead. The last wall has fallen. Winston is released back into society. A broken reconstruction of the man he was. He meets Julia once. They barely speak. Nothing left to say. She betrayed him the same way. Neither blames the other. Winston sits in a cafe, drinking Victory Gin, watching a telescreen, and he realizes, genuinely realizes, that he loves Big Brother. The party won. Not by killing him, by completing him. If you find our videos interesting, please like, comment, and subscribe to Cognitive Ease. Press the bell icon so you never miss what comes next. Orwell's 1984 is not just a story about a fictional government. It is a warning about the nature of power itself. Power that does not seek to govern your behavior, but to govern your thought, your language, your history, your reality. The most dangerous tyranny is not the one that imprisons your body. It is the one that makes you grateful for your cage. When societies allow propaganda, surveillance, and fear to replace truth and open discussion, they risk losing the very freedoms that define humanity. Freedom does not disappear all at once. It disappears gradually, quietly, one controlled word at a time, one rewritten history at a time, one silenced question at a time, until the day you stop asking questions altogether. Not because you are afraid, but because you have forgotten that questions were ever allowed. That is the real warning. Not the thought police, not even Big Brother. The real warning is the moment you stop noticing them. So protect truth. Protect independent thought. And have the courage to question power, even when questioning feels dangerous, especially then. Because the most revolutionary act in any era is simply to see clearly and refuse to look away. If this video changed how you think about power and truth, share it with someone who needs to hear this today. See you in the next one.